Hey friends out there in YouTube land, Robert Ham here with Robert Ham Photography. I've got my first wedding of the official fall season 2017, and it's at a beach house down in Sandbridge, and that is awesome. I love beach house weddings. I'm known for my beachside photography. This is exactly what I specialize in the wedding photography field, so I'm excited. And what better way to do it than just a couple days after fall. So we are on September 23rd. Fall just started a couple days ago, September 21st, I believe, or 22nd, something like that. But really cool. And I want to drink some Coke. I want to share with you a little bit about what I got going on here and tell you a couple of the special things I'm going to do while at this wedding. So without further ado, first of all, let's talk about the gear that we're going to be using. Of course, handy dandy Fujifilm X-T1, pretty simple with the extension grip. I've got the 35 f2. There's a couple different roles that this camera will have, and one of those roles is going to be as a main shooter, and an all-around shooter. The other two cameras, the X100S as well as the X Pro 1, have a specialty role in my loadout this week. Just to kind of share with you the other things I'm doing, I'm using the TL70 right here as well. Man, you guys, I know I love this camera. We've got a close-up lens on it. I'm actually going to take the lens kit, right, because we're going to be doing some portraiture outdoors, and I'm going to want to use the ND8 because it's nice and bright outside, but I don't know if I'll need to do anything else. The wedding is a relatively short wedding, which is cool for me because I'm in and out in 6 hours, but I'm there for all the good parts, and I don't have any problem with that whatsoever, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and put the ND8 on this camera right now, and that's just going to allow me to be ready, set, and ready to go. Good batteries are already loaded up into it. There's no film in it. We're going to make sure that we're ready to take some pictures. Now, here's the problem I always run into. When I do something like this film right here, this is for me, for you guys. So I'll take these images and make these photos throughout the entire day of shooting, and then maybe later on I'll send them to everybody for them to enjoy. Maybe I'll keep them. So that's one thing that I'd like to talk about. You know, when you show up as a photographer, you know, not everything that you do is for the client. Sometimes you've got to be thinking about what you need to do in order to make sure that your business can be a success. So keeping things like that, showing the TL70 when I'm sitting down with clients, sharing images that the TL70 has produced is very important to booking more weddings where people want Instax photography with something like the TL70. That's very cool stuff indeed. I'm going to go on a little bit more. Excuse me, I'm really thirsty today for some reason, and I got to pack all this stuff, but I just wanted to give you a brief overview. Okay, so this right here, my X Pro 1, I absolutely love this camera. You guys know that. I like the rangefinder feeling. It's small, it's light, it gets me out there. And I like the framing that we get with the 18 to 55. When we're on 18, we're getting a 2.8 aperture. So it's going to be perfect for my indoor shots. It's going to be perfect for a little bit more low light when it gets a little bit darker. Outdoors during the day, I'm going to be using a circular polarizing filter on this to get some of the beach and the water in the background nicely, but this is going to give a nice wide berth of the entire photo, of the entire scene, which is really nice. Plus, it's got interchangeable lenses, so I can swap it out as needed. And that's really where this camera is going to shine. So this camera today is going to be acting as my 2.8 wide-angle lens. If you guys don't know about the 18 to 55 f2.8 to 4 by Fuji, this is a phenomenal lens. So check out some of the reviews on it out there. In fact, just to show, my main wedding kit is the 55 to 200 and the 18 to 55. Both of these lenses produce superb images. They just really do. Now, Fuji makes some upgraded lenses that are in the $1,500, $2,000 ranges as well. I prefer to purchase Fuji Primes. I'm a prime kind of shooter, but as far as a zoom, if you're just getting into X photography, you could pick up an XE2S or an XE3 or something. Get something a generation older if you don't want that 24 megapixel sensor. But these two lenses are going to be great on either one of them, and they're going to give you a lot of all-around use with excellent results. Until you're ready to move into something else. Just so that you know, I've been shooting with these two lenses right there for 3 years, and they just never make it out of my bag. Now, that's how I shoot. Some people shoot differently, and that's fine. We've got the X100S right here with the flash. Now, this is going to be my main outdoor daytime shooter. So when we're out photographing during the wedding, I've got this camera, and there's a reason for that. I've got a leaf shutter with a flash, and of course I've got a couple other flash that I can put on there. That means I can actually sync with the ND filter on this with the circular polarizer in a mechanical equivalent situation where I would need 1/32,000th of a second mechanical flash because of the 3-stop ND filter, because of being able to sync at f2 all the way up to 1/1000th of a second, and then having a 2-stop circular polarizer on there that's 5-stop from 1/1000th of a second. That puts us at 1/32,000th of a second. You guys that don't know much about leaf shutters, that's okay. Lots of pros don't. They don't understand the capability and why I use this camera. But I can take this out and I can use flash in the middle of the day with this or a couple of off-camera flash if I want at 1/1000th of a second at f2 with the neutral density filter. I can fill all the shadows and get those beautiful lights and still get a beautiful background. I don't have a problem with contrast and over and under exposure on my wedding photography on the beach. This is how I do it. This is one of the tools that I use, and people just so easily pass it up. Now, on here I am using the conversion lens. This is the conversion to the 50mm equivalent. The regular lens is a 35mm equivalent. So, because I've got the 35 f2 on the X Pro 1, or the XT2 I should say, I'm using the 50 right here. And of course everybody likes that 50mm perspective, that nifty 50. So this is a perfect perspective to roll around, get natural candid shots, sync with flash outdoors. This is the workhorse outdoors when I want wide aperture and flash. A couple of the other things I'm going to be taking with me, of course, is the Rokinon 85 f1.4. This is great. This is going to be paired with the XT1, because the XT1's got a beautiful focusing system on here which takes advantage of a digital setup like this. The X Pro 1 can focus, but the XT1 just has much better technology for focus peaking and such. And then let's talk about the flash. Okay. As for flash, I'm just bringing some Yongnuo YN 560 series flash. These are great. They're completely manual. They're not a lot of money. I can bring 5 of them, and if I leave one, I'm out $60. I don't like that. I don't want to leave one, but what I'm saying is these are excellent flash. People overlook the Yongnuo brand because it comes out of China or something. These are very well made. They're kind of like modeled after a Canon, like 600, something like that. But these buttons on the sides on the Canon actually allow you to push and press and lock your tilt, but they don't do that, or your bounce. They don't actually do that, swivel and bounce. But other than that, all the functions are built in, plus all the wireless communication on 2.4 gigahertz band is built in right here, which means this can talk to all of my other flash. I can use one flash as a master to trigger the other flash if I want to, and this is all electronically because they have transmitters built into them. I can use the actual transmitter itself, the external transmitter that does not have a flash if I so choose. I'm not going to do that in this situation. I won't need it, but it's there. And I think we've made it through everything that we're going to take. Let's talk about some other technology that people often forget. I'm going to wear a suit. It's about 80 today, so cuff and sleeves up. I'm going to be running around outside on the beach, so I've got nice shoes. They're Dockers, right? But they're a good work shoe because I got to stand for a few hours, run around on the ocean front, stand in my shoes. Just need to be comfortable. So when people talk about wedding photography gear, they often forget, to talk about what they're going to wear in order to keep them comfortable while they're out there. There's technology, there's clothing technology and stuff like that, like dry wick and things like that will help keep you from stinking and sweating while you're out there working and still looking professional. A lot of photographers go out there and they just hook it up with a couple of black racket straps and some khakis, and that's not me, man. I think if I'm going to go out there and charge people what I charge them for a wedding, I'm going to show up in a suit and tie. My team's going to show up in a suit and tie. And that's important because from the get-go, when we step out of the vehicle, we look like we're supposed to be there. We don't look like we were hired to be there. That's very, very important. The last thing is, of course, I'm going to have some business cards. I always have business cards, and nice. I'm not doing any video at this wedding, but which is actually exciting for me because I can kind of relax. And I guess the last couple of things is I always take my filters. You can do a lot in Lightroom, but if you can get the colors and everything the way that you want it right now, then you should probably try for the better input. Use Lightroom or Photoshop to fix things that don't work for you. Do your best to get the correct input from the very front. I'm going to synchronize all my cameras now. I'm going to drink some sodas. I'm going to finish my packing. I want to thank you for watching, guys. I'm Robert Ham with Robert Ham Photography. I want to remind you that I will catch you on the flip side.